What's up, everybody? This review, we're going a little bit big with the Megafig from DC Multiverse Swamp Thing. Here he is in his window packaging. You can see one attachment for his arm, a little switch out. Looks like he has a stand and a card, but that looks to be all that there is. This box is really big. Get the side. We got the back with the artwork. Other side. There's the front. Let's get them open and check them out. So here we have Swamp Thing outside of the packaging, and he looks awesome. I don't do the Mcfarlane DC figures. It just something about them that I don't really care for, but I usually make one exception, and that is for the Megafigs. If the Megafigs look really good, I'm more likely to give it a try. Just because they have the certain scale that I want. They don't always have everything that I want in a figure, but the look of them usually looks good, and then the scale. And so I end up picking up a Megafig, but I have only done that maybe twice so far, so not even that often. So this Swamp Thing just really stands out. I mean, he's one that I've had sitting in a box for a little bit, but definitely one I've always had my eye on. I waited for like a sale to get him, and I ended up getting him at a pretty good price. So, I mean, I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 different versions of him. I think there's one with like a horned head. There's one that like glows in the dark. And then I think there's a gray one out there, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the version that I did want. I wish it would have came with the horned head, like as a extra bonus. But that's okay. This is the version that I know growing up and seeing. So this is the one that I, ended up choosing. So first impressions are really awesome. The sculpt looks really good. The paint on it looks really good. The weight of it feels good. It doesn't feel like some of those Mcfarlane figures I handle. Something about them throws me off. But this one doesn't. This one feels really good. So for accessories and stuff, all he got was his card with a little bio, alternate hand, and a stand. And everything else went into the figure itself. So for the figure, he is a very awesome looking Swamp Thing. I mean, I would go as far as to say right now, just first impressions, best Swamp Thing figure ever made. I love the height of it, the face sculpt. Look at all these little branches and vines going through his body. I mean, the sculpting on it, the brown paint, dark greens, light greens, everything going through this figure. It looks amazing. Here he is from the front, from the side, from the back, other side, the front again. So really cool looking. Now he is pretty tall, but looks like he'll stand pretty good by himself if you balance it just right without the little stand that he came with. But let's take a little bit closer look at some of those details. So check out that head sculpt. That looks so good. And then just working our way down. All the different paint and the sculpt in there. It's just really good, really cool. He's gonna stand out on your shelf, one way or another, with the size or just the look of him. For articulation, his head looks down that far, and he's got this ball peg in there, but it takes a bit of force to actually move his head. Looks up to about neutral, a little past neutral. Turns to the side, okay. T-pose, really nice. These parts right here on the shoulder are actually soft plastic and plugged in kind of around the bicep. So it goes over that joint pretty easy. Now, the one thing I hate about these Mcfarlane Megafigs is that they don't really have the bicep cut. I love the bicep cut. Now, he looks like he has the joint for it. It looks like it's sculpted in there. But mine are either really, really badly frozen or they just don't work. And I don't think they work because any of the Megafigs, I only have a couple of them, but they don't use it. This one just actually has the cut that looks like it. And I wonder if it was in 2 pieces just to get this piece plugged in there. And then maybe they glued it. I'm not sure. He has the single jointed elbow that does pretty good, like 90. And then it has a ball in there, so that's where you get your rotation in. And that's where they do it for all the other Megafigs. Well, at least the ones I have. I only have the Bane and Doomsday. You have a horizontal wrist hinge, rotates and hinges. And that's for both sides. You got a diaphragm cut. That it's pretty tough to move. A ball waist. You got your hip. It goes forward pretty good, pretty decent. Back to neutral. Double jointed knees. They are pinned, but that's okay. It's green, it blends in. Gets good range there. And then you got a hinge and pivot and a toe joint. Sometimes toe joints on bigger figures are not the best thing. That's another point of weakness. We'll see if this holds up over time. So that is a very awesome looking figure right there. So the only accessory really to check out is the spike. I mean, a stand is a stand and the card is the card, but I went ahead and put the spike here on his hand. I switched it out with this one here. And it looks really good. It's got pretty good details. When you bend it up though, you see this little hinge. It pops out either side, but it does bend back pretty far. You can make it look pretty natural. Or I guess unnatural, supernatural. Really cool though. You never know when you want to stab somebody, I guess. But it blends in and looks good. Nice brown in there. Looks nice. I figure for this comparison, we'll start out by going big. And here we have the Doomsday and Bane Megafigs. And they're no slouches, but look how much bigger Swamp Thing is. Look, that is crazy. He towers over them. Like, he's really imposing. And it still works because Swamp Thing himself can, like, grow and change his size. It varies. But man, I didn't expect that much of a difference between him and the Doomsday and Bane. And here he is next to Marvel Legends Spider-Man and a Beast Kingdom Darkseid, which that Darkseid is not a small figure either. And he's still getting towered over. And Spider-Man just looks tiny. It's real crazy. So overall, I think this figure's really good. I really like it. One thing, I guess, or two things that I don't like about it, I already mentioned before, was the bicep cut, or lack thereof. I think it would have really helped this figure out a lot, even more, I should say. It's one of the things that I dislike about, like, the Megafigs. Doomsday was the same way, no bicep cut. Bane doesn't have a bicep cut, but I think they're so close to being, like, the best version of that character if they just add 1 or 2 points of articulation. That like maybe that figure would never be topped ever because the sculpt is that great. He looks like he has this articulation for it, so why not give it to him, you know? And again, maybe mine is frozen. I'll try to keep messing with it, but I'm pretty sure that's glued. It's stuck there. And then the other thing that I disliked about him is this area right here, which has been known to be called the diaper. Like, I don't like that on Mcfarlane figures. It does stand out. Him not as bad. Like this area right here kind of pops out at you. Right above the cheeks. You know, when you bend them like that, you kind of see it. But I mean, you're going to be posing. I'm not looking at it from that angle. But still, something about it just kind of pops out. For him, it's not so bad. Because it just looks like the foliage and stuff like that. It's just, that's just the way it grew. It's just the way it looks. But for any other kind of figures, that softness or pliability, I just don't really care for it. I'd rather it just be like the hard plastic. Even though it does help with like articulation. Other than those 2 points, I think this is an amazing figure. I really like him a lot. I think he still is the best version of him that you can find out there. And really just got to find which one you like out of the, I think, 4 of them. So I don't know. Hopefully y'all saw enough of this one. Maybe you want the other version with the horns or something. You want to give that a try. I think they're all pretty much the same, just different colors or glow in the dark. So that's going to be it for this review. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.